In the previous video, I talked a bit about what the intercooler does, but we're now going to do the how to install the intercooler, and you're probably going to want to watch the video first on how to remove the bumper of your Mini Cooper, which will tell you how to remove your bumper, because that is going to be the first step in installing the intercooler. And it's also just good to know how to do, because there's a number of things that are a lot easier to work on if the front bumper and grille are off of the vehicle. The very short version is you are going to disconnect the hot side turbo pipe from this side of the stock intercooler. You're going to disconnect the quote-unquote cold side of the intercooler from the stock intercooler, and it will then unbolt. We're going to put this back in place, attach the bolts on the sides, and we're going to attach a new screw at the top, and you're going to have to tap this screw and then attach a new one. The kit does not come with that screw, and you're going to have to drill the hole, so just be aware. You can use a self-tapping metal screw, but it's not as advised as actually putting a hole in and then using a spreader screw in order to complete the install. I would also recommend, in order to reduce vibration, putting a small bit of rubber gasket right here, just so that this doesn't rub and make a tinging noise, because if this vibrates a little bit, you will get some bumper tinging kind of, I don't know if you can hear that, but you get a kind of metallic vibration that's not awesome. This does not require any other modification. You're not going to have to do like the Alta does, where you have to shave off part of the bumper in order to put the intercooler on, which is one of the huge advantages. The Alta is about 15% larger than this intercooler, but only has 5% more surface area. So I think this is a very good compromise, and you don't have to do anything weird to the bumpers, so the install is a lot faster than what the Alta would be. We've removed the front bumper, and now we're going to move the stock intercooler. Now the stock intercooler is held in place by two screws, one here, uses a standard Torx driver. I believe it's a T25. And then if you've watched the video on removing the hot side turbo exhaust muffler, this is the same connection that we're going to work on. So if you're going to do this and the muffler delete at the same time, this is a great time to do it. Then on the other side, we're going to have another hose clamp, and we're going to remove it. Then the thing just slides out of place, and the new one back. So we have the stock intercooler off, and we're going to put this one in its place, and you can see there is a significant size difference. The stock intercooler is almost exactly the same size as the lower half of this intercooler. So we're going to increase the volume a significant amount, we're going to increase the surface area a significant amount. The stock intercooler has the angle and the straight, and we're going to do the same thing on this one. Now, the original has clip here, and we're going to do the same thing. And the only difference is that once this is in place, we're going to attach it up here as well. And we're actually going to attach it on the back side. So, there you go. Okay, so it turns out that I lied. The next step was not to start the car. The problem with starting the car is that over here is the ambient temperature sensor. And without that ambient temperature sensor, you throw a check engine light that says that the temperature is negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So, don't start the car until you have put the bumper in place and connected all the wires that you disconnected when you were doing the bumper, because otherwise you'll get this check engine light for the ambient temperature sensor. So this is the reason that we do the installs and we tell you these things, because the couple of tutorials that I read said start the car and you will see no check engine lights if you've done the install right. The good news is that because I've got an ODB2, I was able to detect what the check engine light was, and I do know that the ambient temperature sensor was the only check engine, so this is set up correctly. You should probably have an ODB2 cable and software if you're going to be doing this install. It's 20 bucks for one of the cheap ones. I will put a link to that on the description. You can also use one of the Cobb tuning access ports. Those are almost $1,000, but if you're doing this kind of install, it's probably the type of thing that you should have anyway. But yeah.